Yo, what is good, YouTube? It is your boy, Make America Lit, back with another NBA 2K22 video. And in today's video, we are going to be recreating NBA champion Cavs, Denver Nuggets, and New York Knicks own J.R. Smith, a.k.a. J.R. Swish, a.k.a. the Henny God himself. So let's just jump right into it. He was a shooting guard. We'll give him number 5 because I'm pretty sure he wore 5 in Denver, or maybe he wore, I know he wore 5 in Cleveland. I think he wore 8 in New York. He might have wore 8 in Denver as well, too. I'm not really sure. That shit was so long ago. But, yeah, man, you could really make JR with any of these pie charts, the mostly slashing. If you want, like, early Denver JR, if you want, like, New York / Cleveland JR, you would probably go with the, more 50-50 finishing shooting, and then you could also go with the more shooting than finishing to get JR later in his career, like late Cleveland JR. But we want the fun JR, the Cleveland, not even the Cleveland, but the Denver JR on his way to New York. You know, the JR that was dunking on motherfuckers and banging that shit on everybody's head and shit like that. Now, of course, you with the pie chart, you can also go with the pure speed pie chart, but because JR also lived above the rim, you kind of want to go with the speed and the vert, because the vert is gonna help you with catching those bodies and catching those contact dunks and stuff like that of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna max out his finishing, right? Put his standing dunk down to a 69, so you could save just 1 or 2 points or whatever like that. Not that it's gonna matter too much, but you don't really need standing dunk. You aren't gonna really be catching standing dunks like that unless you're playing against like point guards and stuff like that. We're gonna max out his shooting as well. Put his post fade down to an 86, so you make sure you get those 22 and save another additional point again. And then for the playmaking, we're gonna max out the playmaking as well. And then we're going to bring his post control down to a 56, giving him 15 playmaking. And then the rest, we're just going to max out. Yeah, we're going to just max that out. And I guess you got 1 point left over. It doesn't really matter what you put it on, because you can't get more than anything right here. You can't get more than 22 finishing or 22 shooting. You can't get more than 15 playmaking. So this one doesn't really matter. But you can really just put this like that on your post fade, I guess, giving you a little better post fade shot or whatever. It will go body shape, compact, doesn't really matter. JR was 6'6", and he was 220 pounds, so we'll put his weight up to 220, giving him a little interior post control. Not like that's going to matter in the long run. And again, also just to let you guys know, if you want, you can move his weight down. You don't have to put his weight to his playing weight. You could go all the way down to a 181 pounds. To just, you know, increase the speed and acceleration some, since you went up to 6'6" in height. But me personally, we're going to play this true to JR, so we're going to go up to 220 or whatever. Now, here's the thing. With the wingspan, you can play around with the wingspan. You can go minimum wingspan, but it's going to hurt the finishing on this build tremendously, so I wouldn't recommend going minimum wingspan. Defense ain't gonna really matter because the dude doesn't have defense like that, so it's not gonna really matter. You just got enough perimeter and lateral to just stay in front of your man. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be like clamping anybody up with this build, but that's not who JR was as a person. Now, when it comes to the wingspan, you can go up. Now, this is really all on your play style and how your preference is. You can go max wingspan, and you see you'll have an 81 drive and dunk or whatever like that. Now, if you add +4 to that, sorry about the little notification at the top, but if you add +4 to that, you will have, you know, a 85 drive and dunk, which means you'll have the contact dunks at like 97, 98. But if you don't mind, you know, you feel like you could hold a 98 or 99, guess what? You can lower this down all the way to like 85.2, and you'll still get the contact dunks when you hit like 97 or 90. No, when you hit 98 and 99, you'll get the contact dunks. Now, if you feel like, yo, you can't hold the 98, and you're like, nah, man, I can only hold the 96, or I can only hold the 97 because my friends be selling me or something like that, cool. I would just bring this up like that to an 87, or you could bring it up to an 86. It's up to you. You know what I'm saying? But personally, I would just max it out because I personally hate making builds and having to hold the 99 to get dribble moves or contact dunks or whatever. I want my stuff off rip. And he still has a 75 three ball and a 77 mid range. So with Hall of Fame badges, you're still going to hit your shots. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're going to come to the takeover. With the takeover, JR wasn't really much of a playmaker. Yeah, he took people's ankles a little bit. He had a little bit of dribbling in him and whatnot because, you know, he used to shoot off dribble a lot like that. And that's his play style, you know, step backs, spin shots, you know what I'm saying, fadeaways and stuff like that, leaners. But he wasn't much of a playmaker. He didn't really set his team up and stuff like that. So it would be nice to have the playmaking and whatever if you're going to play like Park and stuff like that. But I don't think you really need this. This is more so if you want to be like a team player and stuff like that. But it does help with the ISO a little bit because you will catch ankles when you have playmaking takeover. But if it's me, I'm either going with slash and takeover, shot creating takeover, or spot up. I really wouldn't choose spot up if you're trying to stay true to JR's play style. It would be between slash and takeover to his earlier Denver Nuggets days where he was dunking all over everybody, or his shot creating takeover when he was just pulling off balance threes and mid range shots or whatever like that. So I'm just gonna go with shot creating takeover because I feel like that's more to his play style. And then of course you get a mid interior playmaker as your build name, which is a pretty dope name. I'm not going to lie. That's not a name. Mid interior playmaker isn't a name that I've really seen a lot. I don't think I've ever even seen that name before. I've never seen anybody in Park or Rec with it. So he gets one defensive badge. Obviously, that one defensive badge we're just going to throw on clamps. I mean, you can put it on chase down artists, I guess, because that's kind of OP, or rim protector or something like that. Pick dodger or whatever. Intimidator, whatever. Or even hustler. But me personally, you're going to put it on clamps because your perimeter and lateral is pretty low, 73, 74, 74, 75. Pretty low, so you want your, best chances at staying in front of your man point blank. For the playmaking, I'm going to give him gold quick first step and gold stop and go just because these badges are really good. Like, these are just the best playmaking badges in general. And then as far as his badges go, I'm going to give him silver ankle breaker, silver tight handles. I'll give him silver hyperdrive, and I'll also give him silver space creator because he was a step back god. He loved doing a step back and stuff like that. If you watch his highlights and stuff like that, a lot of his shots are really off dribble fades and step backs and stuff like that. And then finally he got one badge point left. I'm just going to throw it on unpluckable, but you could also throw this on like handles for days because he did create majority of his shots. If he wasn't like spotting up, he was creating majority of his shots off the dribble. So handles for days isn't a bad one, but I'm going to throw it on unpluckable just so he doesn't get ripped. I mean, if you take a look at his stats, he only has a 73 ball handle, so you kind of want to be able to protect the ball just a little bit because dudes will spam you if you start dancing on them a little too much in this game. For the shooting, obviously we're gonna go with circus threes because, like I said, man, the man made his living off of shooting off dribble, fadeaway, fading 3-point shots and stuff like that. So we gotta go circus threes. He's hit a lot of deep threes as well too. So we'll go Chef, Hall of Fame Chef as well. Then I'll go gold difficult shots, gold hot zone hunter, gold sniper, and then gold stop and pop. And then for the last badge, you could pretty much go with anything. You could go with silver blinders or deadeye. You could even go with rhythm shooter since he tends to dribble a lot and then break his defender down and then shoot or whatever like that. But personally, I'm gonna go with volume shooter because JR was at heart high volume scorer. He took a lot of shots to get to the points that we're used to seeing him drop and stuff like that. He took a lot of shots and he wasn't afraid to chuck that bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's just how he is. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're gonna go with. And then finally, we'll finish up with the finishing. We'll give him Hall of Fame Limitless Takeoff, Hall of Fame Posterize, and Hall of Fame Slithery. Then we'll give him Gold Giant Slayer and Gold Acrobat because he did take some crazy ass layups as well. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll give him Silver Fearless Finisher because he did finish at the cup a little bit as well. As far as like when he wasn't dunking on somebody, he was making tough layups and stuff like that. That's what the Acrobat and Fearless Finisher combo is for. And then finally, we'll give him bronze fast twitch and bronze lob city finisher because he did catch alley oops, man. And there you go. You have it. The J.R. Smith build, man. If you enjoyed this build video, man, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe for more NBA 2K22 content and build videos. It's been your boy Make America Lit. I'm out.